Hey guys, it's Matt from Crank Engineering, back with another video talking about some metal shaping tools that you might find useful on your motorcycle projects. And following on from our hammer and dolly video, we've got another hammer type tool that we can make, and I've made these two out of some hardwood and a piece of leather belt. And these differ from your standard panel hammers because they're obviously not a metal surface that you're striking against. So these ones have got a little bit of give, obviously, because they're timber or made out of wood, and they've got a softer face than a steel hammer. So this has got some other applications. Very simple to make with some basic woodworking tools and a really cheap leather belt or some other scrap of leather that you might be able to find. So let's head down to the bench and see how I put these together.
So this is the general idea about what we're going to be making, is these wooden shaped hammers with a piece of leather that covers the surface. Now there's one's flat and this one's quite crown. I think this one's something in between. I'll put a link to these ones if you really want to go and buy them. But I'm going to make something. I've got this big chunk of hardwood here, and I've just gone and bought a really cheap import leather belt that I can use because I just don't want to go and order a piece of leather online and wait 2 weeks for it to get here. So I've run down to the shop this morning and just bought a really cheap belt. Now this is obviously quite a bit thinner than what these ones would appear to be, and these may be 2 inches across or 50 millimeters across. So my belt's 38 millimeters, so it's about 1.5 inches. So we're just going to work with what we've got, and I'm going to use this quite large chunk of hardwood here to saw out some rough shapes, and then we'll use an angle grinder with a flap disc to really smooth it out and get these final finishes. So I'm just going to work with what I've got. I'm going to try and fit in one slapper in here underneath this big hole, and we should be able to get a second one in this gap here, and probably not going to get anything in here. So I'm just going to roughly sketch out the shape that I'm looking for. And I'll probably, what I might do is, we'll make them both flat to start with, a flat bottom like this one, and then we'll just sand in a crown on one of them. So let's just sketch something out. Okay, we're done. So after you saw the last of that sanding yesterday, I've just put the coat of oil on these hammers and then just skinned them with a piece of leather that I've chopped off this belt. So I've just simply screwed them on, so nothing exotic there. So I'm going to get a sheet of aluminium and a dolly and let's see how these go. So one of the ways I've seen these hammers used is for forming metal over a hard form. So I'm just going to use my railroad anvil for the demonstration, but I'm thinking ahead to my project bike and I've got to make some caps for my oil tank, and I'm thinking I'm going to do a similar process for that, is just form some hard wooden discs and form an aluminium over that to form the end of a circular cap. So what I want to show you is, let's just zoom in on the anvil here a little bit, focus camera. And what I've normally seen happen is, let's just say we want to form over this corner, and we'll use one of our other bowls that we've been working on just so I don't have to waste so much material, is use the slapping hammer to form over the aluminium. So you can see in this corner here where I've formed right over the corner, it's a very close match to the shape of the anvil underneath it. So forming over hard surfaces using a relatively softer hammer with some leather on the face helps shape the aluminium over the anvil. So that's the process we'll be using later on, and this is the tool that we need to do that. So you can make these at home without too much trouble. Of course you can buy them, and I'll put some links to the ones that I've found in the text around the video. But these are a simple thing to make and a bit of fun, and you'll be able to use them on upcoming projects. Thanks for watching.